Welcome to Great Talk and Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and this is the YouTube channel where I review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talk and Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, everyone. My name is KJ, and I am your host. And this is my spoiler review for the new Disney Plus series by Marvel Animation, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Episode 6 spoiler review. Again, this is a spoiler review. If you have not seen this, pause this. And before you go back and watch this awesome animation series on the Disney Plus, please hit that thumbs up button on this channel, because that would help my YouTube channel grow and get more fans, more viewers, more subscribers, and much more. Just you doing that little thing will help me in a big way. So thank you guys. But again, this is a spoiler review. Y'all been warned. Now, let's get into it. This episode starts off with Peter Parker and Lonnie both struggling in high school and other things that go on in their life. As Lonnie is kicked off the football team and he leaves high school, pretty much ditches it. And it seems like he broke up with his girlfriend by not giving her an explanation of what's really going on, because he's keeping it a secret, as is Peter Parker's keeping his secret identity as Spider-Man, but they both kind of fail in that because their secrets are hurting their friendships and relationships with others and their social life, as usual, right? And we can start seeing like these two is like secret lives, right? They're both colliding together. Like, for example, Peter Parker, he's trying to be himself, Peter Parker, right? But then we're starting to see his superhero life start colliding with his personal life, and it spills over, and eventually, like, we learn that he can't balance these two, and he's starting to see more of a negativity of just being Spider-Man and the lifestyle of being a superhero, but yet he desires to do this, and he can't help himself from being a superhero. With Lonnie, it's different. He feels guilty. He's like punishing himself, and he feels like he's trapped and he can't get out of this gang life, and he doesn't know what to do at the time. But we see his little brother, Lonnie's little brother, say, man, that's supposed to be me. Like, I'm supposed to be in this gang. But he did this for his family. So he's trying to protect his family, but he also is losing everything. And he's sad. And as a villain, that's his villain origin story. He's eventually going to turn that sad and depression into anger and hatred, and have his selfish needs. While Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, we'll probably see him be more super heroic, more Spider-Man-like, the good guy. We're going to definitely see Lonnie be more of the bad guy in the sense, and which is fine, but it's like a parallel story in one universe. Now, another thing, too, I like is that we see Peter Parker trying to have Harry and Nico become friends, and he believes that they all three can hang out. But we know that Harry Osborn is going to be either the Green Goblin or the Hobgoblin. I forget which one. But, that takes time, and how far will they get to that point in this animation series? Maybe this season, or if they do a season 2, could they redo that story? I don't know. But we see that. But then we get introduced to Secretary Ross as Norman Osborn is at a business party, and they meet, and he's trying to make friends with him. But it's interesting. Secretary Ross in the MCU is the President of the United States in Captain America Brave New World, as he is the Red Hulk. And we're seeing like again this universe to me is like a parallel between the MCU and the Sony's previous Spider-Man films, whether you go from the Amazing Spider-Man or the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, which we see a little bit of that in this show too. So it's got a mixture of it, but it's such a parallel to the MCU, just based with the Tom Holland Spider-Man. So it's got a lot of that, and I love seeing that. I always like to point that out, like because here's an example, like Nico and Harry and Peter Parker are at Peter Parker and Aunt May's apartment, and they're gonna watch some VHS movies, and they had the Predator, and in Avengers Infinity War, Peter Parker uses that movie as an analogy to help Tony Stark and Doctor Strange stop one of the henchmen to Thanos. And, it's one of those pop culture reference things. So I like that. That's a parallel universe. A parallel. Like it's like you could tell. One would say this is part of the MCU, which it's officially not. It's not part of the MCU. They made that very clear. But if they never said that, you would think it was in some type of way. But, that's a multiverse story. But it's just a parallel, like little hints like that. Now, we also get introduced to Daredevil, and we get this awesome fight scene between Daredevil and Spider-Man, which is so awesome. And then we learn that Daredevil sees that, Spider-Man's a good guy. He's a superhero. And he's young and he has a lot to learn. And he informs Spider-Man that, hey, Norman Osborn is up to no good. He's hiding something. Which this is the origin story of, the Green Goblin. This is kind of like his thing. Or the Hobgoblin. I always forget which one they are. But, he's going to wear that suit. Both of the father and the son are going to eventually wear that suit. And, but Norman Osborn claims that Dr. Otto Octavius, or as I like to call him back in the days, Dr. Octopus, claims that he hired him, which that is not true. Daredevil would never work for a guy like him because he just know he might be blind, but he can sense the BS. But and I like that because he's older in this one, not like super old, but he's like, listen, kid, like, you don't know what's going on. You're too gullible. You're too naive, and you got a lot to learn because, Daredevil was laying the smackdown on Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man got some good shots, but Daredevil got him at the end. He outsmarted him. So we could still see that Spider-Man needs some more life experience, and it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. We also see Lonnie was being chased by Carmella, and she only did that to find the 10th Street's gang, his hideout. And we see Dr. Octavius making Scorpion's suit, which that means he's going to go over there and wreck them. And we also find out that Nico finds out, thanks to Harry, thinking that she knew that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and she left heartbroken, and now the friendship could maybe over. But this is a life lesson that they're showing in this, is that we're seeing like Spider-Man have his Spider-Man struggles, and which this is why I love this show, is because I like Spider-Man so much. He's one of my favorite superheroes. But why he's one of my favorite superheroes is just for the fact, like, him trying to balance all this out, his regular life and his vigilante life, basically. And I just like that. I just like the struggle. I like to see him overcome this. And this is going to start taking a toll on him eventually. And I can't wait to see that. But, he hasn't even got the official Spider-Man color suit. He's still in the all-white suit. It kind of reminds me of like that one character from The Watchmen, which I forgot his name, so I apologize. But I like it. But I can't wait to see the regular Spider-Man suit, red and blue, if they get to it. But I like that. Now, let's get into some topics. Let's start with Nico. So she's heartbroken. She's sad because in this episode, it seems like, she wants to be more than just best friends with Peter Parker. I think she's in love with him. And, she's like probably like the only guy. Well, not the only guy. I shouldn't say that. But this is the type of guy she wants to grow up and probably like marry, right? But, this ain't MJ. This ain't Felicia Hardy. This is a different character. Which I'm not familiar with this character in any other Spider-Man comics. But if you know more about her, let me know in the comments. I would love to know personally. Like, tell me what comic books I should read to know about her. So let me know. But what I get out of it, just based off this episode, is that she's always had feelings for him, and she eventually in years just caught feelings for him. And I don't think Spider-Man or Peter Parker, well, I can say Spider-Man, I don't think Spider-Man has that type of same feelings for her. Or maybe he doesn't realize it, but we got this thing where it's different, and I like it. And the origin story of Spider-Man's a little bit tweaked up, and that's what I like about this show. It's just a little different, but it still keeps the same traditional Spider-Man stories. But this, it's not, for me, it's unusual to see him be best friends with somebody like Nico, where I'm used to growing up watching him be best friend with Harry Osborn at most times. Now, obviously, the MCU Spider-Man doesn't have a not yet, I should say, have a Harry Osborn as his friend. His best friend is somebody else in the MCU, which I'm drawing a blank, so I apologize. But I know who his best friend is in the MCU. And so they've been different, and obviously in the MCU, they don't have a Mary Jane Watson. They don't have a Felicia Hardy. Not yet. Maybe a possibility. Who knows? But again, this is more similar to the way Tom Holland Spider-Man in the MCU is. So it has the untraditional Spider-Man stories, but a little bit of traditional Spider-Man, because there is a Harry Osborn in this one, but they're just not best friends. And the reason why I want to bring that up is Nico was reading tarot cards because Harry, even though I don't understand why he would tell her that he likes it, but he just likes it for the fashion, but he doesn't really believe in it. But she brings up the card, the Devil. Now, yes, it had the Daredevil reference, but if you look deeper into what she says and I can't remember exactly how she said it, but basically Harry is pretty much tempted to give in to the devil inside of him, which is pretty much him becoming that evil villain that he is in comic books, and he's fighting it. But it's a little different. Again, I remember growing up in comic books and watching the show on the 90s cartoon and the Sam Raimi's where Tobey Maguire plays Spider-Man is, he became the Green Goblin after he found out his father was, and he was upset that Peter Parker killed his father in battle, and then he took the mantle of the Green Goblin or Hobgoblin, whatever one it is. But this one seems like it's gonna go that same route, but just a little different. And what I mean different is the only there's many possibilities, but the two I can think of right now is they can do the idea of like the jealousy that he's jealous. Harry Osborn is jealous that his dad pays more attention to Peter Parker, or he can be jealous that that maybe he's a superhero and he can't be a superhero. Nobody buys him as a superhero. So there's other possibilities way to go with this story, of course, and whatever way they're going with it is probably the way they win, obviously. But there's so many ways. But I like the idea it's still going to go the way what Harry Osborn and Norman Osborn become as villains. Spider-Man's one of Spider-Man's main villains, top main villains. Honestly, like Batman has Joker, Spider-Man has the Green Goblin / the Hobgoblin, and this is kind of like his MO. Like his whole MO is battling this family, the Osborn family. Like it's always been that for Spider-Man. So they have that, and I mean that's pretty traditional too. Now, so when they show that tarot card of the devil, that also just means in a deeper meaning that he's going to give in. It's probably going to be better for him to just give in to it. And then let's talk about the Heartbroken. I think this is the start. Now, again, I don't know. I haven't really researched her. But this kind of gives me the vibes that she's going to become a vigilante. She's going to put on a suit of some sort. And maybe she not hooks up, but meets Dr. Otto Octavius and gets some gear from the black market, quote unquote. Who knows? Now let's talk about Daredevil. I really like the Daredevil thing. And it's really cool. I'm realizing like these are not just like cameos of people. Like this is like an idea of like, okay, this is Spider-Man is path to get introduced to be with the right people, which would eventually probably be the Avengers. So if Daredevil's here, we know Tony Stark because he mentions Tony Stark's name. So we know that Iron Man exists, and we know Captain America exists. And I'm sure it's the Steve Rogers, and I'm sure Sam Wilson exists and all that. But basically, the Avengers exist. And this is probably going to lead up to Spider-Man wanting to join the Avengers and be with the right team. It all connects to the idea of Spider-Man joining the Avengers and one day being the leader of the Avengers. So there's a lot of possibilities to where they can go with that. And that's why when they showed Daredevil, it's kind of giving us that vibe. Now, I'm not sure if that was the voice actor is Charlie Cox, but it sounds just like him. They even play the Daredevil Netflix like music a little bit. Now, let's talk about Scorpion. Now, Scorpion got the suit. You know what? In comic books, and I remember in the 90s show, I think it was Kingpin gave him the suit. And he had some guy, his right hand man, or the guy in the chair build the suit. But I'm not really sure if Dr. Octavius made the Scorpion suit, but I think that's pretty cool that Dr. Octavius, we're seeing, I like to call him Dr. Octopus because that's what I remember him being called. But, it's really cool that he's pretty much creating the Sinister Six in his own way. Like, we're watching him rise to the top. Norman Osborn's rich. He's on top of the mountain. And we see Dr. Otto Octavius do his little come up. I think that's pretty cool. I like that. And so I'm really excited to see where they go with this one. But other than that, if I had to give this a 1 out of 10, I'm definitely giving this an 8. This is a really good episode. Had a really meaningful message. And man, it was so much like a Spider-Man comic book story at its best. And I love this episode. And I'm glad they went this route with it. Like, it was good, guys. This one's one of my favorites out of all the episodes so far. Now hold on, there's more episodes to come, but I really enjoyed this and I cannot wait to see more of this. So that's my review, y'all. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace out.